How would the earnout piece have been structured? How would like, for folks who've never gone through an earnout, maybe you can describe how it was structured to enable you to do more than 3 or 4 times up front.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, I have to say as well, going through this process was one of the most fascinating things that I've ever done, because what you realise is that you know absolutely nothing about M&A when you come to sell a business. And actually, as a founder, it's an absolutely imperative skill if you want to see the value from the thing that you've built. What I think we kind of realised is that we had a few different strings we could pull, and because we believed in the fact that we were going to grow and continue to grow and deliver on plan, actually we settled on a kind of deal structure that basically watched our compound annual growth rate and margin in a matrix. So you can imagine a matrix kind of with lots of different kind of sectors within it. And long story short, the higher the compound annual growth rate and the better the margin, the further up the scale we ended up going. And so you'd start down here at the kind of 3 to 4 times multiple. So if we didn't continue to grow, that's where we would end up, if that makes sense. But if we did grow and we grew at, the kind of percentages per year that we thought that we would, we could end up, I think the max was maybe 8 times, I think, within that matrix. And obviously we grew really significantly, and I think we got to 7.5 times, I think, by the time we ended up at the end of it.
And times what? So, okay, so let's here's what I'm curious about. If I'm just gonna, for round numbers, I realize your EBITDA was much larger than this, but just for round argument dollars, it might serve to illustrate the point. If you had $1 million of EBITDA going into the deal, and they're willing, so what I'm hearing you say is that going into the deal with $1 million of EBITDA, if you're flat and don't do anything over the next 3 years, we'll pay you 3 to 4 times $1 million, or $3 to $4 million to the business.
Correct.
But if you grow it over time, we're going to pay up to 8 times for that $1 million of EBITDA. Are they applying the 8 times against the $1 million of EBITDA that you had in the beginning of the process, or 8 times the profitability of the company at the very end of the process?
Absolutely, the latter. And that's why it was so compelling, because
The latter.
Yeah, there's the latter, which is obviously really important to us, because it was a much bigger number by the end of it. I mean, we more than tripled EBITDA in that 4-year period.
Thanks for watching today's video. To grab your free copy of John Warrillow's best-selling book, Built to Sell, head over to 𝑙𝑡𝑡osell.com. John's book, Built to Sell, has been endorsed by well-known entrepreneurs like Tim Ferriss, Patrick Bet-David, Dan Lok, amongst many others. But don't just hear it from me, hear it from them.
The most well-known book is Built to Sell. That would be the mega best-selling book. Built to Sell gave me the steps, like exactly what to do, right?
One of them being a book I read in 2012 titled Built to Sell, that I've recommended to any entrepreneur out there.
There's a good book actually that people can read, which gives them pretty much the gist in the title, and that is Built to Sell.
This book talks about how to get your life back once your business takes over, how to focus on doing what you're supposed to be doing well, and how to build a scalable business that can be sold. Building a business that can be sold is much different than building a profitable business that relies on you, and you are the bottleneck inside your entire company.